New York Jets head coach Aaron Glenn has revealed the truth on all of the trade rumors and news surrounding one of the Jets' star players in Breece Hall. And on top of that, with all the trade noise surrounding the Jets right now, another name has been thrown into the fold as someone who is expected to get moved off the Jets, and we are going to break all that down. There's a lot to go over on the New York Jets, and we are going to waste no time jumping right into it, guys. But real quick, if you are part of that percentage, that's 65%, that's not subscribed to Jets Digest, this is the place to be for all New York Jets updates every single day. We have a bunch of great videos coming at you that you don't want to miss out on. We're having so much fun on the channel. I know the Jets are not good, but the content is going to stay great on this channel. Let's jump right into the video. There is a lot to go over. As we know, Breece Hall has found himself at the center of a bunch of trade talks throughout his NFL career thus far. I mean, especially this last year and a half or so. Ever since Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey took over, there's been a new regime in from what Breece Hall was used to for the first 3 years of his career. And with him having that contract expiring, there was a lot of talk surrounding, well, are the Jets and Darren Mougey and Aaron Glenn and this new look team going to move on from Breece Hall, or are they going to extend him? Probably somewhere around that 11 million range that James Cook got. That was one of the biggest questions that we've had to ask ourselves for a while now, and a lot of it did depend on how the Jets were doing this season. The thought process was, well, if the Jets come out and actually surprise some people, have a winning record through by the trade deadline, or even are just close to 500 by the trade deadline, it wouldn't be surprising if the Jets opt to keep Breece Hall and go on and just pay him and keep him as their franchise running back because of how talented he is. Well, the Jets don't exactly have a near 500 record or a winning record. In fact, their winning percentage right now is a big old goose egg, with the Jets being 0-6 on the year and having the worst record in the NFL. There is no doubt that Breece Hall and multiple other veterans with expiring contracts will find themselves purely on the trade block because the Jets will be trying to get back any assets possible for these players that they have on their team. Breece Hall has been the number one name, though, and he's continued to be the number one name because of everything surrounding him and just this Jets team as a whole. The hope has been that the Jets are able to keep Breece Hall or at least get some sort of value for him, but recent reports have indicated that a 4th or a 5th round pick is likely the best that we're going to see for Breece Hall, which does feel like a crime, which is why you hear the sirens outside. But with everything, Aaron Glenn did speak on this whole situation. And with Darren Mougey also being the new GM, there's going to be some moves that he tries to staple himself so he doesn't get fired. And Aaron Glenn, he talked about all these rumors, and this is what he had to say. With saying there it is. I lied. Here it is. As mentioned by Rich Samini, the New York Jets running back Breece Hall has been the subject of on and off trade rumors for 6 months. They're on again with the November 4th trade deadline fast approaching on Wednesday. Coach Aaron Glenn dismissed the speculation, reiterating what he said in the preseason, saying they have no plans to trade Hall, saying they're rumors. I still feel the same way. Hall told reporters last Friday in London that he doesn't want to be traded and that the Jets fell to 0-6 with an ugly offensive performance in a 13-11 loss to the Denver Broncos. One day after the game, he started the speculation with a cryptic Instagram post. Now, that post was this one right here, where Breece Hall just posted himself walking in to the arena and saying at the bottom of it, free 20. Obviously, he wears number 20. When you say free someone, it means trade them off the bad team. So with that in mind, there's obviously been a fun deal of speculation surrounding Hall since then. And Breece Hall did speak on this as well, saying, I haven't posted anything this season, so it's just a way for me to stay ready for whatever comes my way at the end of the day. Whether it's going against an opponent, whether it's in my life, it's just for me. It's a football thing. So all right, I'm ready for whatever opponent's coming my way. Whatever the case may be, it's a for the game type thing. Free 20, it's referencing like being in the moment, being the game. I'm ready for whatever. Yeah, sure. That's what it means. We all believe that. Obviously, we know what it means. We're not dumb. We know what it means. Him giving a non-answer to that question after posting free 20 makes it pretty clear what Breece Hall wants. And I don't blame Breece Hall. I'm not mad at him that he wants to be traded. If that's actually the case, which I fully expect it is, why would I be mad at Breece Hall? The Jets are 0-6. He's a free agent coming up. It's better off that he goes to a playoff team, shows out, gets more money. Obviously, Breece Hall should want to be traded. So I'm not upset by the fact that he did that. I don't love that he did it, but I'm not upset by the fact that he wants to be traded. If I'm being honest, I don't see why there would be a reason to be upset about it. Hall deserves to be on a good team so he can get paid the money that he deserves. He has 88 rush attempts on the season with 410 yards. It's 4.7 yards per average. He doesn't have a touchdown, though, this season, which is a little interesting because he's been able to score a good amount throughout his career thus far. And the Jets just haven't put him in the position to succeed. So obviously Breece does want to be in a position where he can succeed and get paid. There's no shame in that. There's no reason to hate on him for that. And as Dan Graziano mentioned, so there are plenty of reasons Hall might not be in the Jets' long-range plans. And they could be open to a nice offer. Teams I expect to have interest in acquiring a running back ahead of the deadline include but are not limited to the Chiefs, Texans, and Chargers. Now, obviously, each of those teams have their own situations. The Chiefs do have a ton of different running backs in general, so adding Breece Hall does give them a better running back one. But also, whatever happens with Pacheco and then also Kareem Hunt being around does add some speculation as well to how that would work out. Probably just a running back by committee situation. Hall is a very good receiving back, so they definitely use him in some of those formations as well. On top of that, I mean, we see the Chargers, they have a Marion Hampton who's a rookie, but, you know, it's fine to add Breece for right now, especially the Chargers. They're playing good enough that they're trying to make a push, and adding Breece Hall does help because you get a veteran running back in there, not just having a rookie to work with. And no shade towards Marion Hampton at all. It's just it makes sense for half a year. I have a Marion Hampton in my fantasy football dynasty league, so I'd rather that not happen, but that's obviously not the point of this. It does make sense. It also depends on what the best offer the Jets can get for Breece Hall is, because if they do go away from Breece Hall, what happens is Isaiah Davis becomes their number one running back because Braylon Allen's out for a long time. So with that being the case, Davis has rushed 8 times this year for 34 yards. He'd be thrown into a much bigger role than he's ever faced before, and it likely wouldn't be a long-term situation as the Jets would either find a bridge running back in free agency or end up drafting one that they're going to try to develop while also using Davis, Allen, maybe Kene Ngawangu, and then also on top of that, or Nwangu, not Ngawangu. I'm trying to say Francis Ngannou. What? Kene Nwangu, and then also just having Khalil Herbert around. Like, they would have a good running back by committee situation still, or not a good one, but they would have one, and frankly, that would be interesting to see. They'll probably, you know, like this Jets season, not much is interesting to see. On top of that, we do have an update on another Jets player as well in regards to trades in Quincy Williams. There has been a ton of talk surrounding Williams with him becoming a free agent at the end of the season. Obviously, with his brother Quinnen playing on the team, that adds a bit of a layer to this. But as Cyril Benninger mentioned, the New York Jets currently have the worst record in the NFL, 0-6 to start the season. If any team is going to sell at the NFL trade deadline, it's got to be them, right? The Jets might have a coveted piece on their linebacker and starting linebacker on their roster in Quincy Williams, an outstanding player who is currently on the IR and eligible to come back in a few weeks. The Jets roster situation is such that this team can afford to move on from veterans on expiring contracts, and Williams being a free agent after the season fits the bill. Now, a lot of Jets fans, myself included, want to keep Quincy around for the fact that his brother's on the team, keep both of them happy, keep them on the Jets. They're also phenomenal players, which is also a big help there. But at the same time, it does make sense that Quincy has found himself in some trade talks. Quincy is a very solid player when he's fully healthy, which he's not right now on the IR, but he will get back into the season. Over the 3 games that he played, he did deflect 2 passes. He had 1.5 sacks. He was playing really good football, had 15 tackles, 8 of them being solo tackles. So he did really well, had 2 tackles for loss. Quincy Williams, like usual, putting up a good season. No surprise there. But when everything kind of comes into fold, it does make sense, especially when you look at a team like the 49ers, who are now without Fred Warner after he broke his ankle, or he broke and dislocated his ankle. That's not great at all. And with that in mind, Quincy Williams does fit in there to replace Warner. So there is obviously that question as well if we see the Jets go out there and try to sell off Quincy and Breece Hall for high draft picks. And honestly, it makes the most sense to do so, unfortunately. Sucks that this core is not working out at all, but it is what it is. The Jets have to keep trying to rebuild and get this thing right. Guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. We're still having fun on this channel. Go Jets.